Thanks to the likes of Gran Turismo and other games, the world has been introduced to the many versions of the first generation Impreza. From alphabetic spaghetti model names to stripped out rally applications, these have all stemmed from the land of the rising sun and only wind up in the rest of the world through export. Far lesser known to the rest of the world though are the special editions that came to this side of the pond, so I thought we'd have a quick skim over them in this video. On this episode of 427 Motorsports, we'll be covering 3 of the most legendary Subarus to be destined for the UK DM, the series McCrae, the RB5 and the P1. Hello viewers, just before I get started, I want to thank everybody who watched the last videos, and yes, I've seen all of your requests for what Subarus to cover next. I'll get there because these are actually getting a lot of traction, so you know, why not? Just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the Patreon, bought t-shirts and watched the garage videos and all the rest. It really means the world to me. I love doing this, so it's nice that people are enjoying it too. If you haven't already, subscribe, all that sort of stuff that the cringy YouTubers say. I'm sorry, I know, but I gotta say it too. If you like car merch, go and check out my web store. It's t-shirts and things that I've designed, or you can check out the Patreon or whatever. I'll put the links below. You just want to hear about Imprezas, I know, right? Let's go. Thank you. We'll start in chronological order and with a familiar name too. If you're here, you've probably heard of Colin McCrae, but if you haven't, here's a brief summary. Scottish mad lad who became synonymous with going fast, giving things your all with no half measures, for better or for worse, and then making some kick-ass video games while you're at it. Nah, but seriously, Colin McCrae was significant in this instance because he was the first British driver to win the World Rally Championship back in 1995. Ain't it funny how when someone loses they're Scottish, but when they win they're suddenly British? Anyway, he became a household name, no thanks in part to also having his name tied to the video game series Colin McCrae Rally, later changed to Colin McCrae Dirt in 2007, which is a phenomenon that took the world by storm back in the late 90s. Sadly, McCrae passed away not long after at just 39 years old. From 1993 to 1998, Colin campaigned for Subaru during their 555 era and took home the championship in 1995. To celebrate, other than doing donuts at the ceremony, Subaru teamed up with ProDrive, the crowd who made the rally cars, to make a UK exclusive Impreza, the series McCrae. Limited to only 200 units, I found one source say that they were actually numbered from 1 to 201 because they skipped the number 13. I should clarify though, I have seen literally one mention of this anywhere, so please take that with a pinch of salt. If you have any more info on that, put it in the comments. Now, don't be mad at me if it's not true. The first 100 were based on the 95 Impreza and the second batch were made on the 96. Now these were top spec cars based on the UK Turbo 2000. With a smidge over 200 horsepower, you could have them in any colour you liked, as long as it was rally blue mica. Although it was a lot darker than the blue they actually rallied in, and it's not the rally blue that you're used to. Speedline wheels, Recaro seats with the school bus pattern, and series McCrae emblazoned on them, with a factory fitted sunroof on all models. And who can forget that Subaru staple, a badge in the centre console. You'd swear they designed that spot just for badges. While this one wasn't necessarily anything special in terms of performance, what makes this one special is the name written on the side, which is worth more than anything to some people. Speaking of names, there's another name that's just as significant, but sadly not as recognised universally, and it's a name gifted to our next special edition, Richard Burns. Some of you gamers will recognise that name, and rally fans will recognise it too, as he was the first English driver to win the World Rally Championship. Ain't it funny how when they lose they're British, but when they win anyway. Burns joined Subaru in 93 as well, but campaigning in the British Rally Championship, and in 96 would join Mitsubishi for his entry into the world stage. But in 1999, when Colin left Subaru for Ford, Richard took the driver's seat of the Impreza WRC and would stay with Subaru until 2001, where he would pilot the Bug-Eye Impreza to his iconic world win. He too sadly would pass just a few years later from a brain tumour aged only 34. In 1999, when Richard had joined Team Subaru, they celebrated in the UK by making a special edition of the Impreza dubbed the RB5, 5 being the number he competed in and RB being, well, I think you can work that out. Finished in a stunning gunmetal grey, the RB5 was also based on the Turbo 2000, and only 444 were made, of course with a numbered plaque. And even more rare was the WR Sport upgrade package, with ProDrive goodies thrown in, including a higher wing, ProDrive ECU, aircon, exhaust and some other running gear goodies, bringing it up to 237 horsepower. All came adorned with stunning Speedline 6-spokes, PIAA spotlights straight from the rally car. Other than that, in the looks department it's a fairly standard version 6, which to me is a good thing. Inside wasn't a massive change, but it did have some lovely blue Alcantara, bringing it more in line with the interiors you'd have seen in the next generation of Impreza. Last in our list is arguably the most special. Certainly the most special to see UK shores anyway, other than the very few Type UK 22Bs that came along. Introducing the P1. This doesn't have any fancy names attached, although if it helps, the fella from Faithless had one, so you know. It was on that show Vroom Vroom that used to be on Sky back in the day, if you remember that. Jesus Christ, I am old. While they made 1,000 of these, making it less rare than the other two, this one is actually really much more special. Because while the others were, let's be real, sticker and badge packages, I know the RB5 could have a ProDrive pack, shut up for a second. This one was unique. Count the doors. The UK never got a factory 2-door option other than the P1 and the handful of 22Bs. Destined to be a swan song to the original Impreza in the UK, they started life as a 2-door JDM shell, then Subaru went to ProDrive Direct to help build it. No options package here. But being that the 2-door wasn't factory in the UK, they then had to put it through the regulations approval for Europe. Found not to be stiff enough, they had to add a solid section to the rear bulkhead between the back seat and the boot. So if you ever want to know if it's actually a P1 or not, check the back end, because a Jap import won't have a solid rear bulkhead. It was also the only GC8 in the UK to offer the famed 276 horsepower. Again, no, I'm not counting the 22B. And suspension was tuned to suit UK roads. What they mean there is the roads in this part of the world are pure shite and it couldn't be too harsh or too low. So you can tell yourself it's a bit more like a rally car. Speaking of rally cars, all were painted that iconic Sonic blue mica, paint code 74F if you're wondering, because I used to have one, though strangely they didn't opt for gold wheels. Surprising really, choosing to don the OZ racing wheels in gunmetal instead. Finishing off the outside was an exclusive body kit penned by Peter Stevens. He's the man that designed the Jaguar XJR15 and a much more little known car called the McLaren F1, quite the CV. On the inside we got stunning exclusive seats, but much else really was standard Turbo 2000 in there. It's so rare that the UK and Ireland get to have special versions of Japanese cars. I suppose the big support in the UK for Subaru and having two of the most iconic names be from the UK helps, but this trio of Imprezas are something that even Japan didn't get their hands on. My name is Tomo, this is 427 Motorsports, thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Good luck.